this edition of Supervisors Report with David Haubert. I'm your host, Dr. Marshall Kamena. Joining me now is the President of the Board of Supervisors, David Haubert. Welcome, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Marshall.
You always have really nice things to share with us. I wonder if you can exercise your choice.
Two things that my office is working on, Marshall, that I'm really excited about. One is called Youth Mental Health First Aid. And my office is sponsoring an 8-hour 8-hour certification program that trains educators, parents, and other adults who work with our teenagers to understand how they may identify a mental crisis in a youth, how they may work with children, teenagers, to resolve issues that they may be going through, so that they don't boil over into a crisis among teens. Teachers are in the classroom with teenagers all the time, parents, coaches, and others. So we're teaching the teachers how to understand mental health for youth. So we call it Youth Mental Health First Aid. We launched a pilot program in combination with my colleague from District 2, Elisa Marquez. The AIM, Youth Mental Health instructors came in, and they're working with high school and middle school staff, and this is free to them. Costs us a little bit of money, but it's free to them. Then they get certified for 3 years as having this capability. So it's a nice thing to hopefully help alleviate teenage mental health crises.
Well, you as an Eagle Scout will remember train the trainer.
Train the trainer, that's exactly right.
And isn't that a similar concept?
Very similar, very similar.
That is just super.
The other thing, Marshall, we had our third foster parent town hall meeting, and it was super successful. We had maybe 65 people in the room, about 30 of them may be very interested to become either a foster parent themselves or to support a current foster parent. Mm-hmm. We had a guest speaker who was Anna Kim, a teacher at Dublin High School, a math teacher. Yeah. Anna Kim taught my children math, and now she is a foster parent to 2 teenage students who are actually students at Dublin High. She has, over the last 15 years, fostered 7 kids, and almost all of them went to college, which is absolutely amazing. We know that foster youth are very less likely to graduate even high school, more likely to end up on the streets homeless, more likely to be trafficked than any other population, sexually trafficked, more likely to end up addicted to drugs and in horrible outcomes. If we can improve their situation by improving the quality of foster parents and by supporting the foster parents that we bring in, we think we can have a better outcome for foster youth, and they will become more successful. Anna Kim is proving that. So I'm on a mission to recruit this past year, to recruit more foster parents and support parents. And we had a great meeting the other night. So if anybody out there is interested to just become a support parent. And I always say this, Marshall, not everybody is cut out to be a foster parent. It's hard. But everybody can support a foster parent. So everybody all in, anybody can come in, be a support parent, and if you're good at it, be a foster parent yourself.
I'm amazed at the number, the diversity, the things that you do for the benefit of the entire county. Do you ever get any sleep?
Marshall, like you, I'm up late at night.
Wow. How about the district attorney?
Yeah, Marshall, we know that an historic time in our county was when the district attorney was recalled. It's never happened before. In fact, it's the district attorney that was just previously elected 2 years before. And in fact, I think most people said she sort of did exactly what she said she would do, but it turned out that led to outcomes that the rest of the community decided we need to recall that. And she was recalled. We had 15 applicants. We narrowed it down to 7. We interviewed all 7. It took 6 or 7 hours, Marshall. We really put them through the ringer. Most people walked away feeling This was a very open and transparent and fair process. We had great applicants. It came down to a couple, but we picked a sitting judge, Judge Ursula Jones Dixon. She has been in the juvenile court for about 12 or 15 years, something like that. Prior to that, she worked for Alameda County as a prosecutor, as a district attorney. So she had great experience with our county. She had great experience with the court system. She's going to make a fabulous district attorney. And we're excited that she maybe never would have run for office, but she got appointed to her office. And one of the things we asked her, are you ready to run again? Because she will have to run in 2026. And she said she's already ready to do that. So we're hopeful that she'll turn out to be a successful district attorney, confident in that, and that she'll run for re-election and be our district attorney.
Well, in our last program, we just theorized, do any judges ever apply for it? And
Yeah.
oh yes, and
Yeah.
look what happened.
And by the way, a judge is a pretty good job to have, pretty secure
Yes.
job to have. She left that, gave it up to become a district attorney. And so we're proud of her, we're happy for her, and in fact, we should have her on as a guest in a future show, Marshall. What do you think?
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
FCI, you see that all the time. FCI, the Federal Correction Institute. Now, it's being closed in Dublin, but being considered for immigrants facing deportation. What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, Marshall, it's a federal property. It's something that we don't have much control over. I know that the Institute went through some legal battles with the management there, horrific occurrences with sexual predator situations and all of that. It's closed. It's a federal institute. I'm not sure exactly what is going to happen to it. It's up to the federal government. So I'll be there supporting them in whatever they decide to do, but I'll also be here to protect our community as needed. And that dovetails with you know, the immigrant and refugee town hall
Yes.
that we had the other night. And we'll have more of those in the future.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back on this edition of Supervisor's Report. Welcome back to this edition of Supervisor's Report with David Haubert. And a few moments ago, we talked a bit about the topic of people who are immigrants and refugees. And can we go into a little more depth?
Yes, Marshall, I'm happy to say that my office and all of the county supervisor offices are really interested to make sure that the immigrant community knows what their rights are. In this time when it's a very controversial topic, we know that the federal government, the White House has changed, the administration has changed. They're really going after those who are in our country illegally, especially those that have committed heinous crimes, crimes of personal crime, violent crime, and especially those that have a record of criminal activity. And that's not all immigrants. We know that many immigrants are working in our country, working in jobs that maybe other people would never do. That powers our economy. They buy things and pay sales tax, and that's all part of our economy. But it's kind of an underground economy if you're here illegally, or if you're here without documentation. So they mix this idea of immigrants that are maybe here for educational purposes, immigrants that are here on work visas, immigrants that are here legally, with those that have entered our country illegally. It's a big controversy, and I personally believe that we have to have a better solution for those people who are coming to our country to not commit crimes, but to work hard, to be part of our economy, and to ultimately have a better life for themselves than they would have in their home country. And if we have a better program to allow them to be a guest worker, for example, or somehow otherwise be here legitimately, instead of having to hide every time somebody asks them for their identification. And right now there's a big controversy and a big, I think it's, you know, a lot of and a lot of angst in the community, Marshall, is what I would say. As we're going after people who are here illegally and committing crimes, how do you separate them from that are here illegally but providing work in our communities? And so whether you're here illegally or not, you still have rights. We still have a constitution. We still have the right to, our lawyers are trained to explain to people what their rights are. And so they're sharing with people what their rights are. And some people that are here illegally but still want to know what their rights are, we're sharing what their rights are and educating them. What we're not doing, and I'm making sure it's very clear, that we're not harboring criminals, we're not violating federal laws, we're not going to do something that would jeopardize federal funds coming to our community. We're not a quote-unquote, we're a welcoming community, Marshall, not a sanctuary community. We're not here to harbor criminals. And my heart bleeds for people who have been harmed by illegal immigrants who commit crimes in our community, get deported, come back into our system, get deported again, come back into our system. We have to have a stronger solution to prevent that. At the same time, we need a better guest worker program, which we don't have. So anyway, Marshall, we're having town hall meetings to talk about that. My message again is if you're a criminal, you better get out of here because we're going to find you and deport you and not let you back in. If you're a hard-working person that wants a better life for your family, we have to have a better solution for you.
And that sort of demonstrates what you said earlier about just because you're an immigrant doesn't mean you're illegal.
Right.
Isn't that something?
True. Marshall, I'll tell you, I said in a meeting, this is personal to me. My parents-in-law came from Europe during World War II. They were refugees and immigrants. So many people in our community are immigrants. A third of Alameda County was born outside of our country, okay? And they came here legally. They sought asylum or sought getting a green card and getting citizenship, and we need to have more and more of that in a legitimate way.
It's a huge number of our people, our citizens here. If you go back 5 generations, boy, almost everybody came from somewhere else.
Yeah, good point.
Gosh, you know, the question is ADUs, but I'm wondering if you might cover horse racing first while we have a chance.
Let's talk about horse racing, Marshall. Again, a very complicated situation. We have had horse racing here in Alameda County over 100 years in a row. We have the country's oldest 1-mile horse race track in the country's oldest. And so we have horse racing every year at the Alameda County Fair. Horse racing is such that horses will come in and they'll race, and then they'll go on to another fair or another location and race, and they'll travel around looking for races to race. We've been on the racing circuit for many years. And horse racing is, some people call it a waning sport. Fewer and fewer people are coming into the sport. More and more people are aging out of the sport. Wagering on horse racing has so much competition from all other kinds of wagering. You can bet on sports, you can bet on so many other things, that horse racing has been in the decline. That's why Golden Gate up in Albany, also part of Alameda County, closed down and horses moved over to Pleasanton. And it turned out that that transition wasn't as successful as they had hoped. Golden Gate horses that came to Pleasanton, the Pleasanton Fair Association, so that's not the city of Pleasanton, it's not Alameda County, it's the Alameda County Fair Board, made the decision to discontinue year-round horse racing. What that means, though, is all the people that moved from Golden Gate to Pleasanton lived in our community, many of them on site at the fairgrounds in their RVs and trailers, and many of them supporting the racehorses, training them, grooming them, keeping them healthy. They'll have to find other places to go. What I'm trying to do is find a way to keep horse racing at the fairgrounds during the fair, so that we preserve some horse racing here in Alameda County, here in the Bay Area, because it's part of our culture, it's part of our heritage, and whether it's horse racing or equestrian, hunter jumping, other eventing, I want to try to see, because there's a lot of people that care about equestrian and horse racing. If we can do that, we can keep people housed, we can keep people employed. Those people have children in school, we can keep them in school. And right now, what we're working through is, you have to understand, when you have horses, you have to clean up the mess. Okay, we're working through ways to do that, because when they make a mess, you wash them off, and that becomes water that might go into the local streams and creeks, and that's not good for our water quality. So we're working through ways with our sanitation district and with our water board that we can treat that water so that it doesn't pollute the environment. We have to protect our water at all costs. We know that. But if there is a solution, to have, I'm wanting to explore that so that we can keep equestrian at the fairgrounds, keep people employed, and continue to have horse racing during the fair and other equestrian activities, as again, perpetuating our Western culture and heritage.
Are you optimistic that people will listen?
It's a Hail Mary right now, Marshall. I really think that it's a Hail Mary, at least for this season. I think we have a longer term, with dedication and drive and passion. We have a longer term solution at play, but in the short run, I'm not so sure, Marshall.
Reminds you a little bit of a miniature Coliseum issue.
Yeah, very much so, yeah. Good point.
ADUs, by golly, those things are called ADUs because they mean accessory dwelling units.
Yeah.
And to many of us, that it might have meant a mother-in-law cottage or any one of a number of different things.
Yeah.
But their proliferation is certainly noticed in this county. And I'm wondering if the statewide laws that might eliminate the local control and even permit homeowners to sell them separately from their main homes might be an issue. And how do you feel about all this?
So, Marshall, indeed, if we're expanding the housing stock that we have, in the past, it would simply be, well, go further and further and further out and just build more homes. We call that urban sprawl. Yeah. And when you talk about solutions to that, that's called infill development, which is to have more communities turned over, building apartments and other multi-dwelling units. Well, a solution in between that is ADUs. It takes the footprint of a single-family home, a traditional single-family home in a traditional single-family home neighborhood, and allows you to build a smaller unit, say, in your backyard. And as people are willing to share a property with somebody else, as you mentioned, it was originally a granny unit or an in-law unit or a rental for additional income. Some people have found they would move out of their home, build an ADU for themselves because their family were grown. They don't need a big house of their own, but they want to live on their property. They would build a property in their backyard and then rent out their home. Well, another way to allow for this, to encourage it, if you can actually sell both units. So that just allows for more people to decide to build an ADU. Again, ADUs can be built in your backyard. Some are converting their garage to an ADU. A separate, standalone, detached garage can become an ADU. And if you can sell it to somebody.
And separately describe it.
Separately describe it, parcel it off, sell it. Some people are considering that as an alternative. Or, said another way, they're willing to do that if they can sell it off. They're not interested in renting it, but they're willing to sell it. I think it's a step in the right direction for those people that want to do it. It's not for everybody, but we have to find ways to increase our housing stock. And it's either going to be build denser, smaller units, apartments, higher, up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories, or build further and further out, sprawl. It's a simple math problem, Marshall. We have to add housing as people continue to have children. Nobody wants to stop having children, but math says that you're going to have children, you're going to need more housing. And so it's a good alternative, I would say. It's not for everybody, but it's for somebody.
Well, we'll see what happens. Are there some upcoming events you'd like to share with us?
Marshall, I always love springtime because it brings in the middle of March St. Patrick's Day. And having come from mayor of Dublin and a resident of Dublin, everybody is Irish in Dublin on St. Patrick's Day. So coming up is going to be, we're going to host our friendship city, our sister city of Bray, Ireland. We're going to have a green and white gala on Friday, I think it's March 14th. The parade and the pancake breakfast and the festival on Saturday the 15th, the 5K run on the 16th, and the real St. Patrick's Day will be Monday. When is it? It's the 15th, I think. Anyway, it's going to be a great time, Marshall, for St. Patrick's Day.
Well, it just seems to me it was the other day we were announcing it, but it was really last year.
It was a whole year ago,
think
wasn't it?
It was either the 40th or 41st St. Patrick's Day celebration.
I'm not sure, Marshall, but I know this year I'll be in the back of an antique truck. My good friend who owns here in the city of Pleasanton the Mavericks nightclub, country nightclub, right next to the sports bar, The Draft. He owns both. He has an antique truck that I'll be in the back of, waving to the crowd as we go through. We'll be passing out beads to the kids so they can wear green and white beads, and just a fun time. Cool. I'll be hosting some of the delegation actually in my home, Marshall. They're going to stay with me and my wife. I'm going to cook them breakfast in the morning and have the evenings with them, and I just can't wait to see them.
When I think of that event, I always think of Tim Sobrani. And now that a young gentleman is changing occupations and is going to be the head, essentially, of a large union, I wonder if he'll no longer be invited to be on the fire truck. Maybe he'll be over the union boss. I
think we'll always have Tim either announcing the parades or on a fire truck or leading a union shop. Or I'm going to make a prediction. Someday we'll see him come back and become mayor of Dublin again. He's just an outstanding individual and a great member of our community, wearing so many different hats. I can't keep up with him, but we'll always have Tim.
He's a man for all seasons and all ages. And
yeah, great guy.
You can't help but love him.
Yeah. Thank
you for your information. It's always so much fun to be with you, and I appreciate it beyond what you can even imagine.
Thank you, Marshall. Thanks for having me.
I'm Dr. Marshall Kamena. Join us for the next episode of Supervisors Report with David Haubert, right here on Tri-Valley TV. Thank you for watching.